All right, now I see Facebook. All right, so I thought I'd start with a little something for my buddy Ed. It goes like this. Let's see. Now I'll loop it. Yeah, for Ed King, my buddy Ed King wrote that song. Passed away a couple days ago. This one's for you, Ed. Really enjoyed getting to know him. I spent the whole day with him, and he was a really cool dude. I had to win him over. That wasn't when I showed up in the morning compared to when I left, it was a whole different thing. So, yep, had to win him over, but yeah, he was awesome. And I want to give it up to my buddy Brian, who's hanging out here, helping me out with the cameras and whatnot. How you doing, Brian?
Hello, fellas.
The other thing is I've been traveling so much that I haven't been able to hang with Brian as much. Oh, you're starting to tilt there on Facebook. This way. So I got back from Northern California and I had my Joby stand for my iPhone, which is what's supposed to be being used right now, and I couldn't find it right before we went live. Then I accidentally streamed to my personal Facebook instead of the Marty Facebook. But we're here on YouTube. And just remind you guys that are maybe tuning in between the jams or whatever, every Saturday at 1 o'clock, I'm going to do a live stream on YouTube and Facebook, unless otherwise notified and I'm traveling and stuff. I'll always keep you guys notified on Facebook and Instagram about it. So we have any good comments or questions or anything, Brian?
We got some top fans that showing up. Howard Kim. I hung out with Howard Kim on the comments section of your live show.
Ah,
which was rad.
thank you. Any you guys on Facebook that tuned into that gig at Terrapin Crossroads, I really appreciate that. That was fun.
It was awesome.
Thank you. All right, so Another thing about the Ed King thing is he showed me this. Let me turn this down a little bit. In the video we did, but he talked about some of the Les Paul tones that he gets, and this is not a Les Paul right now, but it's pretty much the same makeup, pickup wise and whatnot. Solid through the middle. This is the Heritage H535. But the one thing that that was pretty cool is, one, on all his guitars, he never has the volume turned up all the way. So it just kind of softens the tone a little bit, and you turn the amp up. So I'm going to do that. Just turn these both down a little bit. The other thing that one of the things he had was he went to the middle section here, so it's using both pickups. But then he messed with turning the tone down on the bridge pickup. Turn the drive up a little bit. Turn this up a little bit. Actually, we've shown it on his SG, but no, he had a Strat. He definitely played a lot of Strat, but yeah, in fact, I think he wrote that on a Strat. But he was going through the different tones of the humbucking guitars and what he was doing. So just stuff to mess around with, that tone kind of thing. When you've got the humbucker guitars, you can mess with so many different configurations. Like going to the bridge, here's everything turned up just on the bridge. Pretty bright, right? So if I roll this down, the tone. Now that'll, back to that. Roll that up a bit. Go to go to the front one. Lot to mess with there. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so I also want to talk now about, just looking here, Joshua Norco. What's up? Yeah, Let It Be solo. That's a good one. That's a major pentatonic. How we doing, Brian?
Doing good. Sound seems good on both.
Nice. Well, we always like that, because that's another technical issue that can happen, is the sound. I want to give it up for Brian. The due date for his baby is nigh. It's here. 4 days is the due date. So give it up for Brian. He's here.
I could have to leave at any moment.
Yeah, you could leave at any moment, you guys, and then I'll be stuck, wired up here. Hello, anyone out there? But no, give it up for Brian. He's going to have his first child, and we're excited for him, although we're going to miss him here. Zachary Disbrow, Malcolm Reed, top fans on Facebook. Nice. Any topics or anything that you guys are interested in?
Just a lot of so Ed King notes. People love Ed
Yeah,
King.
yeah.
Love his style and his tone.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing, yeah, and I'm probably not gonna be doing any Metallica today for YouTube out there. The YouTubers saying Metallica over and over, this might not be your episode. But let me talk about that Sweet Home Alabama really quick, because it's D to C to G. And most of the time when you're soloing, let me turn this down. Most of the time when you're going to do a solo, you typically, so if I played the Sweet Home Alabama thing, so a lot of times in soloing, you would take the first note of the chord, which for this instance, yeah, there you go. Oh, we're gonna get adventurous. Not bad. Wow, Brian. I don't know if I want to be zoomed in that far, but my legs. Let's cover my legs here. But yeah, we're cool. I can see it. Okay, so we got the D chord, we got the C chord, and we got the G chord. Now, typically you're gonna want to put in. You would think like D minor pentatonic, just because of most of the time the first chord is going to be the scale. So if I do that though, it doesn't sound right. What? It's not quite right.
Back.
What? That's okay. Zoom-ins are good. Okay, so that's not going to work as well as in this instance. It's really like a blues in G that's got the 5 to the 4 to the 1. Like, when you're playing a blues in G. And then you'd have. So in that situation, that's really what's going on. So if you think of it as G, and really more the G major pentatonic, here I'm going to add a loop to this. Roll this back there. So you think of it more as a G, and you've got the G major pentatonic, which is the exact same thing as the G. The G major pentatonic is the exact same thing as the E minor pentatonic. do a little bit of the G minor pentatonic. Not a bad one to mix that major and minor, where you're relying heavily on the major, but every once in a while you just poke a little minor into the mix. So I hope that makes sense. I got another one for you guys, but I also want to take any questions or topics that you guys are curious about, or anything at all. I've had a whirlwind last few weeks. I even got interviewed by a puppet. So if you guys want to check out me being interviewed by a sock puppet, that's on my Facebook. Brian, you heard that?
It's awesome.
Did I do all right?
It was awesome. And so was Rocco.
Yeah, I was just going to give him credit. I was going to give a shout out to Rocco Blastorius, the puppet. He was pretty awesome. So, yeah.
What key is Sweet Home Alabama in?
It's really G. It's G. Even though the first chord's D, it's one of those weird, more rare instances where the first chord's not the key. Like 90% of the time, the first chord of the main progression is going to be the key. But you have instances where it doesn't happen, and that's one of them. So let's see here. Let me get another one here. Another thing that was fun this week is I gave a pretty in-depth explanation of how I get these bass sounds. Brian, kick it. Not quite. So let's see, what did I do here? Yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to show from that, and that was just a fun jam, hey? I don't know if anyone was jamming along, but thank you for that. Oh yeah, something that happens in that song that's really cool. So it's really a minor blues, Sharp Dressed Man. He's playing power chords, but if you were to play like, you know, a reimagined version, it's really very minor, even the G minor. So there's this cool thing that usually happens in, you hear it all the time in like a major blues, like this kind of thing, you know. But he uses it in the relative minor on this song, so it's pretty cool. Let me show it to you. So if I just loop a C minor chord here, I'm going to give shout out to Carga DeVille on YouTube. How's Facebook doing? Rich Moran, we'll be getting the tacos later. But okay, so if I just loop the C minor chord here. So I've got that, you know, I've got the C minor pentatonic. So here's something in minor that you usually see in major. So there's just two shapes I'm using, and you can think of it as starting right here on the C minor. So it would be the 8th fret G and 8th fret high E, and I'm just putting my whole finger down, and I'm just not playing the B string. I'm using my fingers, you know. Same thing up a whole step. And then I just go up a half step, so I'm on the 11th fret, but I got to add my middle finger to the 12th of the G. So even just from that. And he does that straight in that solo. So it's another thing with the pick is if you dig in to the pick and get pick and thumb when you play, get the meat of the thumb and the pick at the same time, you'll get this kind of stuff. That Billy Gibbons spanky pinch harmonic sound. Now that little move is really when it's minor. You know, like if you're playing Thrill Is Gone, you could do that. So if we play Thrill Is Gone just to make believe here that we're do it in A minor instead, then you just can follow it right here. Same thing as C major, but so if I play an A minor, so if I'm just, same thing, but now A minor. Ooh, I got a little Ingve there. Here's that move again. So in that minor setting, when it sounds really dark and minor, you can take that first chord and then do that move. Now, it goes up and down all the way up, but if you just start with that, then you can mess with, it's just the one or the other shape. Shit. Yeah? Brian, how are we doing?
Doing good.
Any texts from the missus there?
No.
Okay.
Tom Crow remarks on how versatile that guitar is.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I actually got to hang out with Tom 2 weekends ago at this guitar lesson conference I did. And I met some other great, people from the live stream. This whole summer I've been able to meet live stream people and video watchers. It's been really cool. You missed out a few times, Brian. It would have been fun. It would have been fun.
Been there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a whole Northern California trip. So I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, couple shout-outs on YouTube. Ian Haas, Ninja for Warrior 98. Karga DeVille, ZTV, Wesley. Oh, it's going fast. Too fast for me now. Carlo Zutik, Heavy Fuzz Lord. Heavy Fuzz Lord. I got fuzz.
Is that a Big Muff?
Big Muff. To this. Like a baby's whisper.
People like their shoes.
They do.
The Sanics.
Yep.
We got a different view than usual, so people can appreciate some new things.
I know.
The
Great.
soundboard.
Not necessarily a better view, but yeah, I know.
Soundboard.
Look at what goes into this, you guys. You see that mixing board?
Soundboard and the Sanics are big fans of those.
All right, yeah. So Wesley Van Brunschot, thanks. Sigori, Dennis the Worm, Julio Ronaldo, Desert Wolf, Jeffrey Hoggins. Yeah, this was an emergency situation with the Facebook. It just fell apart. Coffee and guitar, exactly what I'm doing, said Adam R. Yes, indubitably. John Cruz Jr., thank you. Han Solo, thank you. Zachary Dispro, congrats, Brian. Joshua Norco. Superb setup, thank you. All right, one more jam for Ed. Oh, and I'll say this about Ed. He had a heart transplant probably, I don't know exactly when, but at least 5 years ago. Could be 5 to 8 years ago. He had a heart transplant. And so he knew he was on borrowed time. He had a great self-deprecating sensibility about it because he talked to me about his health and whatnot. And basically, when you what he was saying is when you have a heart transplant, all the drugs and medication you have to take for the heart transplant lowers your immunity to getting different kinds of cancers and stuff. So typically, when you get a heart transplant, more often than not, it's actually some other ailment that causes the problems than the actual heart part. So anyway, he had a great attitude about it. He had this awesome therapy dog named Bama, as in Sweet Home Alabama, that was there with him, and a great wife and a nice house and just a great attitude about everything. And so it was just it was a really cool experience for me. So Ed, this one's for you, my man, and then we'll wrap it up. It'll be taco time. Yeah, a lot of GNR and Metallica shout outs on YouTube.
Tons.
Yeah. Well, I did take all my Guns N' Roses off 2 days ago. But it could come back. It's not a big, it's Guns N' Roses. It's not me.
You see Billy Gibbons is coming to town?
I did. Yeah, I did. All right, so this one's for Mr. Ed. Here we go. Why not? Why not, right? How about this one? All right, here we go. Thanks for watching, you guys. Appreciate it. Had to get back in the saddle here. Hopefully it'll be a little tighter next week. Every Saturday at 1 o'clock. Now on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks, you guys, for watching. And we'll see you later. See ya.